So when we say take matters into our own hands, what we're saying is stop funding your oppression. When you get an indictment, that's a bill of exchange. That's a form of commerce. You see, all laws are commercial. If you go to 27 CFR, okay, that's the Code of Federal Regulations. If you go to 27 CFR 27.11, okay, you'll find what? You'll find that, 72.11. If you go to 27 CFR 72.11, you'll find that all crimes are commercial. You'll find that all crimes are commercial. And again, if you go to the House Joint Resolution 192, March 9th, 1933, okay, 73rd Congress, Session 1, Chapter 1, page 73, page 83, you'll find what? First paragraph, third sentence, that they have no gold, they have no silver, and in turn they had to pledge the labor of the people while giving them full disclosure in order to pay back their debt. So they have your name represented in all caps whenever they're dealing with you on a commercial standpoint or basis. And when they do stuff like that, they're confirming that you are dead. They're confirming that you're dead. That's why them brothers that got child support in New York, peep how not only do they put your name in all caps, which represents a trust created by the state in order for them to pay back their debt, they put your name backwards first. They put your last name first. Where else do you see that? You see that on the cemetery. They put your last name first because they're considering you and the mother dead. So what they'll do, they'll issue child support on you without even telling the mother or the father that they're having a hearing because they consider the mother dead. You understand? As the debtor. So we have to confirm that we are alive. We have to confirm that we live. Now people say, this paperwork, this beast ain't going to sit down to this paperwork. But that's a lie. Because if the beast didn't care about the paperwork, he wouldn't ask you to sign before you get convicted to go to prison. Before they can sell your prison labor as a mortgage-backed security, they have to get your permission because you can't make an unconscionable decision. According to commerce, that's illegal. So before they can sell your bid bond, payment bond, and performance bond, and they consolidate it and create a mortgage-backed security, and this means what? Every time one of us get locked up and go to prison, we represent the payment for a failed mortgage. We represent the payment for a failed mortgage. Every time somebody, so there's a direct correlation between foreclosures and what? Imprisonment. Privatized prisons is a business that makes money over people's incarceration. We have to see, this is why it's so important to turn around and say, look, we got to find a way to buy houses without a mortgage. Because the mortgage is set up to take advantage of subprimes, people that they know by analytics cannot pay the debt. They got you figured out before you even signed the contract. They know that you cannot afford to pay for that mortgage inside of 2 to 3 years. So they say give it to them, because they already got an underwriter right there waiting called the Corrections Corporation of America. The underwriter is the surety. The surety is like an insurance company that says any event this person doesn't pay, we'll pay back the money, but just give us a cut. Right. So what happens is you got the commercial bank, right? And then aside from the commercial bank, you got what? Investment bank. So you got the commercial bank and you got the investment bank. And people go over here and say, look, I need a loan for a house in the form of a mortgage. So they say, I got you $200,000. Every 5 people is $1 million, right? Every 5 people is $1 million. And what the commercial bank does, they wait until they get about 1 billion people, and they create a bond that represents, they get a bond that represents $1 billion in debt. That's what they do. They keep, and what they're doing is servicing the loans for the investment bank. So what they're doing, they're working over commission. They're saying, yo, I'm gonna get mad debt from the black community. This is what I'm gonna do. And when I get it up to $1 billion, or I get up to $500 million, I'm gonna turn it over to you. But I want real money in exchange for these debts. So they give over $1 billion. They say, yo, can you just give me back $250,000 for every billion? And the investment bank says, yeah. So the investment bank gives them real money because the commercial bank doesn't have the capital to wait 30 years for a fixed rate mortgage to potentially go through. You know what I'm saying? Because chances are 30 years, it's not going to work out. Remember, mortgage is what? Mort means death. Engage means pledge or agreement. So that means you make an agreement until the day you die. That means your whole mind is not going to be preoccupied with spirituality. You're going to be working to keep that physical house. So people say, I'm teaching something adverse to spirituality. No, I'm not. I'm trying to get you out of that 30-year loop Out of that student loan for $10,000, out of that mortgage for $300,000, out of that credit card debt for $15,000, we have to teach the economics to get to our spirituality. Otherwise, you're going to be working 2-3 jobs and you won't even have the esteem. You'll be fatigued. You'll fall down and do a raka'at and you won't come back up. You'll be making salat and you won't come back up because you'll be tired. So what happens is, they get this bond, they service the loans to the investment bank, and what the investment bank does, they create a corporation. And what they do, they break this corporation up into shares. And they sell bonds. But these bonds have to have sureties to indemnify them. How do you indemnify a bond? Through a surety. A surety is an insurance company for the most part. So investors say, I know you got credibility because you're an investment bank and you created this corporation, but can you confirm that in the event this money doesn't work out because something goes wrong, you're going to pay the money? They say, yes, we can confirm. If something doesn't go right, you're always going to make your money 100% of the time. They say, how do you do that? Well, we got another thing over here. This thing over here is who? The water. Corrections Corporation of America. The correctional facility is actually playing the role as a surety on your behalf because your prison number is really an account number. So what they're doing is saying, look, we're going to make you work and for free or for very little, and you might get, when you get up to $5, they might have made $5,000 off your labor. And that's why when you're sentenced, they get you to sign bonds, which means what? You're being sued because a bond is a debt obligation. They get you to sign a bid bond, payment bond, and performance bond. They combine it, and the Corrections Corporation, after they give you a prison number, which is an account number, they are the surety for these investors. So the reason why these investors are willing to invest money from the investment bank that got their money from the commercial bank in the form of a bond is because the corrections facility says anytime somebody doesn't pay back their mortgage, which is out of the commercial bank's hands, the commercial bank's job is just to get suckers. And they turn it over to investment bank. Now, if the money doesn't work out, the investment bank hits up the surety, which is the Correction Corporation of America, and say, yo, give me all the people that's doing 10 and 15 years for murder. Because it's like even when you look at Dr. York, for every count that he got, okay, there was a $5 million bond per count. You understand what I'm saying? So if he had over 100 counts, they're making that money every day until he dies in prison. Okay, that's the presumption. That's what they do to everybody else. Now, you see, before you go to court, before you get convicted, they ask you something very important. Because people say, all this paperwork, nah, that's not real. The white man don't listen to that. Listen to me. Listen to this carefully. America is a corporation. You can see that Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, amongst many other things. 1913 Federal Reserve Act, amongst many things. House Joint Resolution 192, March 9, 1933, 73rd Congress, Section 1, Chapter 1, first paragraph, third sentence, page 83, doesn't matter. Many things confirm that America is in debt and America's a corporation. Point blank. Corporations have to follow laws. Point blank. All you have to do is snitch on a corporation if they're doing the wrong thing to their superior. Corporations have laws. Secondly, if they didn't care about your signature or your sign of nature, why when before you get convicted they ask you something before you start signing? Is anybody forcing you to do this? Are you under any drugs or medication? You know why? Because you cannot make an unconscionable decision when it comes to securities. Before they can sell your contract, they have to know that you are willing to sign that contract. The biggest fault that we have, we be signing things that we don't understand. So they say, yo, is anybody forcing you to do this? And you say no, and you start signing? Hell yeah, you being forced. You want to go to prison? I'm being forced. Who? Who's forcing you? My attorney, my lawyer, my judge? I don't want disagreement. You got to tell the truth. You got to, don't sign nothing. People say, but if I don't, you got to know how to close or collapse the bond. Don't sign nothing. Now people say, well, you know, that sound fly. I was locked up for murder, fam. So I'm not trying to teach people how to get away from murder. Let me put that on the record. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be there. I'm not trying to get you a get out of jail free card. But my community knows. The community knows I defended myself. My wife, Aminette, where's she at? Where's Aminette at? Alright, she went to the bathroom. My wife, Aminette, was the one doing the paperwork for me while I was in prison. My wife, because she was studying with me when I was studying. And I got off through my secure party status. You understand what I'm saying? Because all of this is about commerce.
Right.
All of this is about commerce. It's all about commercial transactions. That's what all of this is about. You understand what I'm saying? So you go in there and you say, look, you can't do this to me, I'm a Washita or I'm a Taino. They say have him checked out, have his head checked out. They do that a lot to our brothers. You know why? Because they say, look, we trying to get money from you and you over here telling us who you related to. That ain't got nothing to do with the situation.
But you're trying to implement.
You're trying to invoke nationality.
You're trying to invoke your jurisdiction, right?
Exactly.
That's your jurisdiction.
That's what you're trying to do. But the way in which we gotta go about it, we gotta first make a distinction amongst us and that straw man, the transmitting utility. This is my wife right here. When I was locked down, you heard? This is my wife right here. When I was locked down, she was the one that did the paperwork when everybody was saying, get a lawyer. Mars. It was like, yo, we love you, bro. We feel you. The knowledge is hot and everything, but yo, we just hired you an attorney and I'm like, yo, why you did that? She was the only one that stayed firm. She understood that that indictment was a bill of exchange. She understood that information and she helped me fight that case and I got out inside. I got out October 31st when I got my disposition. I was locked up September 19th. You know what I'm saying? And in that span of time, I got out. You know, and I can never forget those dates because, you know, that.
It's significant.
Yeah, Halloween, and that was, and September 19th was the first time I ever taught a class anyway in my life. So I won't forget it just because my life was on the line. And what they do, they play psychological games, and they say that, come on, baby. They play psychological games, and they say, what we gonna do? I thought I was locked up for one thing, and when I went in there, I had 12 counts.
Right.
You know why they give you counts? Because if you're reliant on the man and woman that doesn't understand law, their first assumption is if you get accused of 12 things, you had to do one of them. And that's what they did with Dr. York. They said hit him with 100 counts, because you know what black people gonna say? He had to do one of those things. So all we have to do is accuse you of 200, 100 things, 50 things, and the average mind is going to say he had to do one of those things. And even when the FBI lead witness confirmed that they're lying and it was coerced by the FBI, by that time black people didn't give a hell. They was mad that he was teaching information that was adverse to their religion. They go to hell. The white man was the devil and he was a liar, up until the point they locked up a brother that had a difference in opinion in your religion. All of a sudden the white man was telling the truth. That's how we are as a people. That's why we got to go back to having common customs. This whole system revolves around our lack of knowledge and commerce.